Hello and welcome back to another episode of Nick Tiffany's Movie Reviews, coming at you online and in print format at nicktiffany.com, and audio format wherever you get your podcasts, and even in video on YouTube. Today we are discussing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This is the latest jumping point for a sci-fi saga that has just continued to endure after decades, only getting better in my opinion, and continuing to just tell a great story, sometimes while reinventing the wheel, other times by bringing us much needed upgrades to the story, to the visuals. After Andy Serkis's performance and just captivating run as Caesar in the Rise, Dawn, and War of the Planet of the Apes trilogy, we are now generations later, after Caesar has passed. Humans are the scarcest they've been on the planet as the simian flu continues to enhance the apes, but regress human beings. This is a film that is almost entirely just apes, which for me is something I've been waiting for, especially with how advanced this motion capture technology has gotten. We're in a place where you've got different factions almost of apes, some who have the teachings of Caesar, passing down the wisdom, ape not kill other ape, apes together strong, teaching compassion, and then you've got groups who warp Caesar's teachings into different ways, warp what he stood for, and then you've got different groups who don't mention him at all. You've got different tribal leaders who are kind of creating their own religious teachings and their own rituals. And so we follow the Eagle Clan, and more specifically, we follow a younger ape by the name of Noah. And in this clan, they take eagles' eggs before they hatch. That way, they can kind of raise these young eagles and eventually become hunting companions. And so while Noah is out kind of trying to go get his egg, he runs into a group of not so great apes and orangutans and silverback gorillas who follow this Proximus Caesar character, who's kind of portrayed by Kevin Durand, this larger than life ape who seeks to unite, seeks to help apes, but does so in a way that also almost essentially forces them into slavery and, making all of these different captives that he's sort of rounded up perform the manual labor he needs to achieve his goals. So immediately we kind of have this really interesting bad guy who is definitely a bad guy, has a really interesting respect for the human world, human creations. And I think where Planet of the Apes and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes specifically gets so interesting for me is what these humans and apes kind of glean from one another when they have time to spend kind of discussing some of the history and what's gone on in the time that we've missed. It's just super fascinating. And there's really only one human character that we follow. Her name is Nova. She's played by Freya Allen. She kind of finds herself mixed up with Noah and a different orangutan. But her insights as to what's happening to humans and what their history is and what they believe versus what all of these different apes have kind of grown up learning. It's really interesting to see some of the contrast, some of the lies that they spin, some of the ways that the humans can still be quite deceptive as well. The motion capture and the visual effects in this film are phenomenal. I mean, the apes just continually look better and better. The performances from top to bottom, physically, emotionally, are staggering. Kevin Durand as Proximus Caesar just completely embodies this chosen ruler who is larger than life and has this bravado, but also wants to understand this world. And so you've got William H. Macy as kind of this almost human interpreter, reading him scripture of old, different historical events. It's fascinating. And when you have apes and humans almost now on the same level where humans might not have the intellect, but they have the wherewithal, the tools, the foundations laid upon them by further generations. Um, the blend of that in this film is just great. I remember I went and saw this after probably watching 6 or 7 films, the Seattle Film Festival, and I was just watching 2 hour, 2.5 hour movies, some of which independent, some of which kind of were a little bit of a slog. And I remember going into this thinking, I'm like, okay, this is 2.5 hours. I really do want to see it because I love the apes, but I hope that it's just nothing like what I've been watching. And less than 30 minutes into the movie, I was just already shifting in my seat, leaning forward like, oh my God, I don't want this to end. I love this world already. I really enjoy these characters, and I will spend as much time with the apes as I possibly can. So 2.5 hours for this movie breezed by. And the director, Wes Bells, kind of said, hey, I've actually got a 30-minute longer cut. Maybe we'll get that on digital. That would be awesome because, hey, you know me, Mr. Snyder Cut. I'm always down for a little more director's action. But Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I was very impressed. You know, it's clear they're building towards a new series. They're going to continue this world. I think they're going to skirt around some of the Mars coming back to Earth, Charleston Heston type stuff. I think we're gonna shift from that. Hopefully, they've done it before. Maybe kind of creating a new story. Who knows how many humans are left out there? Who knows just what these apes are capable of when they get their hands on the right technology? But Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, definitely worth your while. If you can see it in the theaters, I would highly recommend it. Like everything these days, I imagine it'll be on digital pretty soon, and it is certainly worth the rental or the purchase there. I can't wait to add it to my collection personally. I'm really eager to see it again. It's a good frustration that it's not out on digital already because that means they've got faith in it and they're not just willing to yank it out of the theater like so many do. So please, if you can, check out Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes in theaters and go back and watch that Caesar trilogy again. Rise of the Planet of the Apes sets it up well. Dawn and War are freaking phenomenal. Those are just fantastic movies. Like they transcend sci-fi, they transcend this fictitious realm. They blur this line so well. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes just continues to build on that world so effortlessly. Again, if you are a Planet of the Apes fan, you absolutely need to check this out. Thank you again, as always, for tuning in. You can find us at NT Movie Reviews on all social media networks, podcast platforms, and even on YouTube. Thanks again. And thanks for listening.